Behold what it's like to meet me in real life. It's probably very accurate for a lot of you. I'm 4'9", so it wouldn't be hard to be. Get down here. Got me a fancy new standing desk. Probably need to do some more. Yeah.
Greetings, weary travelers and fellow story gremlins, to the Reaction Sleepover. This is the series where we get cozy and we react to stuff.
We're standing today.
But anywho, grab your cozies and snackies and strap in for the tomfoolery you're about to see. The people whose brain cells seem to leave their noggin every time wedding stuff happens.
And hydrate! Do it.
The photographer was unhinged.
Your first mistake.
Always be hingy. I don't even know what that would mean. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm a wedding planner based out of popular... Colorado? Please tell me it's Colorado. Don't make me look dumb. Brain. I say that I do that every day of my life. Mountain ski resort, and I've planned well over 100 weddings, but I've never worked with a wedding vendor like this before. Ooh,
I'm very excited
to start crying. I started seeing the red flags during the planning process. For example, he was lying to me about stupid stuff. Of course. But his reviews looked good and his photos on IG looked nice, so I thought maybe he was just trying to impress me or something.
By lying?
This ain't a first date. Though isn't that weird when people like lie on first dates? Because it's like, what is your plan beyond this? Even the little things, it's like there's no reason to lie about it because like they're gonna find out eventually. I don't know, I feel like when people decide to just lie on the first date, sometimes entirely about who they are, it's just like, what is your plan here? Just maintain the ruse for the rest of your life? That sounds exhausting. You're like, worst first date ever. Maybe he thought it was. He got his dates confused. Literally. Fast forward to the month of the wedding. He was extremely hard to get a hold of to go over the timeline and final details. He finally called me back from his car without the timeline in front of him and confirmed the details with me.
Great.
During our call, I asked him to revise his contract to add 2 more hours, and he said he would. Something tells me this may not happen. 2 days before the wedding, he had a separate photo shoot with the couple because they wanted him to take photos of them with their dogs. Cute. And they wanted a pair of their dogs paw printing on the marriage license.
Cute.
During their photo shoot, he refused to take photos with the dogs, which was the whole point of that shoot. Sir, what is with the dog prejudice? Thou ain't the main character of Pooch and Prejudice. Stop it. And he also told the couple they were hard to photograph. Like during the shoot? That feels unprofessional at best. Like if you're a photographer and something difficult is happening, as far as I understand, you do your best to just try to like redirect and everything because you're the one directing like people to like pose in certain ways and all that. And I hope that wasn't during it, just at the start, like you're hard to photograph. They're just standing there like, okay, will you take our pictures, please? He just has to say it every couple minutes. It's like the opposite of say cheese. You say you're hard to photograph, so you get their genuine disgust faces. Needless to say, the couple changed their minds about wanting him for 2 more hours. Yeah, it makes sense. And thankfully, he never sent the revised contract. So I let him know they wanted to stick to the 8-hour contract. Photographer started going off on me via text, telling me, "You really screwed me. You owe me an apology. You don't know what you're doing." And my favorite, "You should have figured this out weeks ago." Sir. You're like, I literally am just giving you the information. I didn't do anything. You should have called me back then. You had a horrible date. You didn't call me back. Ain't my fault. You know, as if I hadn't been trying to get a hold of him for the past month. Literally doing my job. You're the one not doing your job. No rose for you. He also mentioned that he was going to be the one running the show on the wedding day. Sure, about photography. You mean the whole wedding? And he wasn't going to follow my timeline. The one who's actually in charge. So I had to designate one of my assistants to kiss his batukus and babysit him all day. Bro, this is so unnecessary. My guy. As I mentioned, the couple didn't want him for any additional hours, so he was supposed to show up and report to the ceremony spot for the first look photo. I had the florist come early to set up the spot. Normally, I wouldn't be the one to choose the first look spot, but the GoPro games were going on, so there were going to be tourists everywhere.
GoPro games? What's that?
When he arrived, his outfit was douchey and unprofessional. What could that look like? Like, photographers usually wear all black. He's just wearing, like, bright yellow. Bright yellow shirt, bright orange pants, neon green hat. I gotta make sure everyone can see me. You're like, I sure will when you jump scare me on the dance floor. I'll mistake you for neon lights. He's just wearing as many reflective things as possible so that when he's taking your picture, you're just like, then he somehow turns it back on you like, why were you squinting? As he's cosplaying the sun. He went right to the bride's room and busted in while she was in her underwear? Ew. Ew. No! At the very least, you knock first.
Away with you!
He got the room number and key from the front desk. I told him the day before that he wasn't supposed to go to the couple's rooms. Literally told, don't do this. And of course, it had to be when she was changing. And he refused to do the first look at the spot I had set up. You're refusing to do your job? The spot he chose on the fly was stupid. During the couple's portraits, my assistant had to keep him on track because he wouldn't stop talking. He also did a jump spin off some stairs. And when my assistant wasn't impressed, he did it again, acting like a total child. Maybe he really does think it's a date. He's like, I wore my best bright outfit. I told you you're hard to photograph, and I did that trick for you. What more do you want? It's the doing it again for me. When he got back to the hotel, he refused to take detailed photos. Your job? What they're paying you to do? Sir, don't make me get the douche nozzle stamp. Even though they were confirmed on the timeline, and I had coordinated with the venue to dim the lights, and my team lit all the candles and everything. You're telling me they did all that just for him to refuse to do his job? During the reception, he tried to change the uplifting color to neon yellow. Yeah, see? See? All he did was take off his shirt like, we're gonna do this. The fact that I made a joke about what he was wearing, and it's not even that far off to him wanting to use neon bright colors. I'm a genius.
6.5 hours later.
Ah, I forgot I had a therapy appointment. Anyway, let's continue. Where was I on? Oh yeah, when he brought out a neon yellow something, and how I'm a wizard. Yeah, during the reception, he tried to change the uplifting color to neon yellow. Color of what? Of the entire thing? He starts just bringing neon yellow everything, literally everything, like streamers and lamps. Can lamps be yellow? And like flowers. He tried to just make everything yellow. It's like, trust me, trust my vision. You're hard to photograph. You have no opinion here. I don't care that's your wedding. Like, this is not your job. Just take pictures. Don't get to change the venue like a menace. He tried to get alcoholic drinks 3 times. Got mad when I said he couldn't. Couldn't understand why he couldn't eat his dinner at the DJ table. We caught him sitting at a guest table eating bread. Just handfuls of bread. Not even his bread. It's everyone else's bread. Snatches them off their plates. He was getting dessert off the... Yes. He was getting dessert off the guest buffet. During the best man speech, got mad when I asked him to take photos of that, and we caught him smoking weed with the guests. With the guests? What? They're just as guilty as him. They're like, getting mad at someone asking you to do your job. Finally, the venue had to kick him out at the end. Photos turned out okay. Not great. Yeah, it sounds like he wasn't very focused. Like, just do your job, man. I just love this person's name. Sly Pickle. I feel like that implies an awkward pickle. We've all been in an awkward pickle. Friend was throwing a fake wedding for gifts. That's a new one. It's not even a real wedding. A close friend of mine told me she was planning her wedding that they weren't actually going to get married. I feel like the next sentence should have started with, let me explain. She wanted to do it for social media and for gifts. I was asked to be a bridesmaid in her wedding. Plot twist, these are all 6-year-olds. We're playing house. You're my bridesmaid. I had my dress and everything. She told me 8 months before her wedding. I was shocked and appalled. Her reasons for not wanting to actually legally marry him were crazy. Long story short, I told her I couldn't stand up in her wedding knowing all of this and immediately resold my bridesmaid dress. I never talked to her again. It's crazy the extent people will go to. I often wonder if she went through with the sham of a wedding. It's like a small part of me is like, that's genius. But it's also so devious. Because if the implication is that she's tricking everyone into thinking that she is getting married, like just for gifts and for social media, I guess. Again, it's one of those, it's genius, but it's also like, how do you just do that? Trick people into giving you gifts. So devious. I sit upon a throne of kitchen utensils and hand towels. The master plan. Edit. He didn't know about this. He thought they'd be legally married. Poor guy. She told me she was never going to send it in. Is this real? This sounds so fake. I both want it to be real, but I also am desperate for it to be fake. Because That's so... I can't even think of a word for it. Devious is the only thing that comes up. It's just like evil genius, you know? Edit. She also wanted us to spend $3,000 each on her bachelorette party. The fake bachelorette party. For a wedding. Goodbye, voice. For a wedding that wasn't even happening, so she could post about her batch party on social media. And wanted all of her bridesmaids to pay $750 each for her bridal shower. I unfortunately had to eat the cost for my flight as I decided not to go either after she told me about this fake wedding. I just... Huh? It's actually making me a little speechless right now because I don't know if I've ever heard of someone doing a fake wedding. Like racking my brain trying to think like, what could she have done instead that would have been less maniacal? Like if you're really wanting gifts, that's what birthdays and Christmases are for. If there's some things you really, really want, just put it on your list or save up to get it yourself. Wow. I feel like I just don't have any like funny things to say because I just don't even know what to say. I am flabbergasted. I am bamboozled. I have been hoodwinked. Apparently, if I were one of these guests, I would have been hoodwinked. Props to you, Sly Pickle, for dealing with a sly bride because I don't... This story is both incredible and I'm just so like... That's so embarrassing. You don't have to have a fake wedding to get gifts you want. Especially not tricking someone into... fake marrying you and they're not even in on it. They don't even get to be in on the sham. I had the amount of effort just to get gifts and post on like Instagram. There are much better ways to get likes on Instagram and get gifts you want that don't take as much work, because having to like pretend all the time, that's too exhausting. Like, I'm already an anxious person. I can't handle lying. I'm worrying about being weird about normal things I'm doing. That is just honestly amazing. Just what leads you to this chain of events? She's just continuing the family legacy of scammers. This is a tradition. Her whole family is done. But the thing she didn't fulfill is that she actually ended up finding the love of her life, because that's why the tradition kept going. Because they actually just ended up finding the one for them every time. I hope she's doing okay, because this impresses me. But impresses me in the kind of way where I'm worried about you. Way to start off with a bang. Eh. Alright, nerds, let's go. This is Banshee? I like all the question marks. I like the very questioning tone. I too have questions. I feel like that's a common experience though with ghost stories. It's like, I cannot believe this happened. So this happened when my brother and I were teenagers, maybe 13 and 14. Prime haunting ages. You're already having a hard time in school and going through puberty? Bam! Here's a ghost. It's a ghost about going through puberty. You just hear a bunch of voice cracking. Ooh. Beware the acne. We lived in a rural town. Is rural? Rural? Is that hard for anyone else to say? A town with a nice mix of busy streets and, at the time, sprawling farms. My family home was the second last house in the last neighborhood before you hit farmland as far as the eye could see. Ah, so you live right next to the abyss, huh? No wonder you're having ghost encounters. It's a field of corn, and all you hear are just a bunch of whispers saying corn over and over. I'd be scared too. To the right of my house, as I'm pointing left, to the right of my house was my neighbor's, then a thick hedgerow, which separated the housing estate from the farm. Estate. Sounds so fancy when you put it that way. The first 5 or 6 fields in this part of the farm grew barley and wheat. Wheat! As kids, we made tunnels through the hedgerow and spent hours every day during the summer exploring the farms with friends. Each field was huge and was separated from the neighboring field by other large hedgerow, some complete with streams running through them. Like streams as in water? Do you have to like water bend to get through them?
Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
One night, my little brother, our 2 best friends, and myself were outside our house playing with a football on the road and skateboarding. As a little kid, I would say like, oh, I ride skateboard, because I wanted to seem cool, when really I was just rolling down the hill on my stomach. Or my butt. Very extreme. It was about 9:30 at night and quite dark. I wish it's getting dark at 4:30. Remember, we were the second last house on the road in the very last housing estate before it was just barley as far as the eye could see. We were essentially the very edge of town. Anyway, on this night we were hanging out as usual when suddenly we heard an ear-piercing squall. Squall! It's like, what is the bird's name in The Little Mermaid? Where he's wah wah wah. Yes, very squally. Coming from the barley field beside us. Why are you doing kiss the girl here? There's literally no water. They're still trying to do it. They're like sitting in the field in the boat. He's trying to like scrape his way through the field using the oars. The perfect romance destination. Barley! It was so loud and high-pitched and had a feeling of panic about it, yet kind of funny to our young minds. You're scared yet also excited. We decided to go investigate. You buffoons! You never investigate. First rule of survival. Never be curious. Thinking it was a pig or an injured animal of some description. But when you put it that way, I gotta say a little Wilbur. So in youthful excitement, we burrow through the hedgerow. I don't know why that description is funny, but I love it. And start running towards the origin of the sound. All laughing, thinking, and excitement. You thought wrong. The barley was ready to be plucked from the earth, so it was high. Up past our waist, so we couldn't see anything that may be on the ground injured. I do not like where that could lead. You get yoinked, and you'll start squalling. As we get close to where the sound is coming from, it suddenly stopped. Excusez-moi? We stop and look at each other laughing. Why are you laughing? There's no laughing matter. Then it starts again, but now it's originating from the point of the field in which we first entered. I'm sorry? We exchange glances in confusion before sprinting toward the sound, believing it must be a scared, injured animal. That fast, though? Especially if it, like, took a second from it stopping and then starting again. You wouldn't last 2 seconds in a horror movie. No questioning at this point? Then the sound stops before immediately starting again, but directly behind us. Begone, foul beast! On and get the frying pan. This time it sounded ominous, and the feeling changed. The sound then stopped again, starting instantly, but way, way off in the distance. Ew! It moved towards us at speeds way too fast for an animal. Stop it! As it reached us, I hit it with the frying pan. As it reached us, it stopped, and again came from a totally different end of the field, hurtling towards us in pitch black. I forgot it was dark! I forgot it was dark! Now we are frightened. Now? This is not an injured animal. We have no idea what it is. The sound then seemed to stop and start from everywhere. Fellas, we have unwittingly entered a ghost rave. They suddenly all get squished together, not realizing they are in the middle of the mosh pit and it's too late. Moving with incredible speeds all around us, covering huge distances in seconds. Ew! Without saying a word, we all run as fast as possible to the hedgerow, which we entered. All the while, this loud screeching, wailing moves all around us. My younger brother begins crying in fear as we all rush to get back into our neighborhood under streetlights near our home. As soon as we cross the threshold, the high-pitched screaming chasing behind us stopped at the border. It's vampire rules. We were all physically shaken and scared now. My little brother was hysterical for weeks, refusing to go back into the field even during a sunny day. Again, I was literally picturing it as a sunny, nice day. I literally read at the beginning that this was at nighttime. Gah. A few years later, my brother would tragically die suddenly in that house. I'm sorry for your loss. Many strange sightings of a withered woman were reported around those fields over the years. Oh yeah, Banshee. Right. Literally the title of the story. If anyone is familiar with the legends of the Banshee, let me know what you think. This occurred in Ireland, as you've probably guessed. I did not. I don't know what I was picturing. Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my best friend's wedding after she replaced me as maid of honor because I'm too fat? I'm pregnant. And asking her to pay me back for everything? And the fact that it says not the a-hole poo mode? Get ready for hugs. The sleepover shall be a sanctuary of love. I, 27 female, have been best friends with Claire, 28 female, since high school. When she asked me to be her maid of honor, I was thrilled and went all out to make her wedding special. I paid for the bridal shower, bachelorette party, a weekend trip, decorations, and other expenses, spending several $1,000s. So kind of you. I think bachelorette, it's like technically, if I understand correctly, I don't know if the maid of honor is technically supposed to pay for it. So I think I could see where that could be kind of a gray area, but like, still. Even then, please don't be pressured to do something that is out of your price range. And I believe that if someone's a true friend, they wouldn't push that if you are unable to do more than what you're already doing. While it was a lot of money for my husband and me, I wanted to make her big day perfect because she's like family to me. 2 months ago, I shared that I'm 4 months pregnant. Claire congratulated me but started acting distant afterward. Oh, I know. No! She excluded me from conversations about the wedding and made passive comments about how hard it is to coordinate when people are distracted. I brushed it off thinking it was wedding stress. A few days ago, she sat me down and told me she didn't want me in the wedding anymore. Her reason? I'm getting too fat and she doesn't want me in the pictures. Who needs breathing when you have rage? That's so cruel. And first of all, literally growing a human, and then even if she weren't, and she were just getting fat, that is not a morally superior or inferior thing. It's just a thing. It's so frustrating that people get so caught up in like the pictures and the aesthetic that they are using that to hurt people they supposedly love. Gaining more fat on your body doesn't make you any less valuable as a person or any less beautiful. You are beautiful. It's just a thing. And also, that's just a hypothetical because literally she's pregnant. She's having a baby. It's so sad that people get so tied up in the aesthetic that it's just like, what is wrong with someone being pregnant in your pictures? Both things are wonderful. Both things can coexist. Come on. Come on. She said she has a specific vision for her wedding and I no longer fit it. Because she's growing life? I was devastated. I asked if this is about my pregnancy, but she insisted it wasn't personal. What else would it be? She said she was replacing me as maid of honor with another friend who fit her aesthetic. Wow. That's incredible in all the wrong ways. Even trying to leave room for the most benefit of the doubt that she's not, this person's somehow not meaning to be such a jerkwad. I don't know how, because that feels so deliberate. Literally going as far as to taking you out of the maid of honor position. That's wild. I hope you're okay. Again, cookie and hugs are available. I told her if I wasn't in the wedding, I wouldn't attend at all. I also handed her the receipts for everything I paid for and told her she or her fiance needed to reimburse me since I'd only spent that money as her maid of honor. Claire flipped out, calling me selfish and accusing me of trying to ruin her wedding. Where? It is only fair, considering the fact that not only is the bride being incredibly mean, but also, okay, if what I was saying before about the maid of honor, like, taking on some of the, like, the brunt of paying for things, I feel like that depends person to person. Totally fine. It's only fair, really. That is not selfish. That's just logical. She said it was tacky to ask for the money back and that expenses like these were my responsibility as maid of honor. It's so funny that she's saying that. Because she took the title away. What? And that last sentence, I reminded her that she removed me from that role, so those expenses were no longer mine. Treating your friend like that and expecting no consequences? I think not. Since then, Claire, her fiance, and even her family have been spamming me with calls and texts. They're accusing me of being petty and overreacting because of pregnancy hormones. They're also saying I should have just let it go and written off the money because weddings are stressful and Claire didn't mean to hurt me. Even if somehow the comment of getting too fat wasn't meant to be, like, mean. And like I said, getting fat is not a good or bad thing. It's just a thing. It is a neutral thing. It seems derogatory. It just seems like she was looking for a reason to take her out of the wedding. And I have a hard time believing that that wasn't meant in a mean way. Like, genuinely mean, not even like best friend mean. That's just mean. I deeply hope she reflected on how this hurt you. Because she did hurt you. Do not be gaslit into thinking she didn't. Stand your ground. My husband is incredibly supportive and says I did the right thing. Thank you! Someone is here for you. There's nothing worse than, like, standing up for yourself and then everyone and their mother, apparently this is actually true in this case, are coming after you. All you're trying to do is do what's fair and hold her accountable for hurting your feelings. He's furious at how Claire treated me and agrees that I shouldn't be out of thousands of dollars for a wedding I'm not a part of. I forgot it was thousands. Request to be paid back in pennies. I feel heartbroken and humiliated by someone I thought was my best friend. Still, the constant backlash has made me second guess myself. Am I the a-hole for standing up for myself and asking for reimbursement? Should I have just quietly stepped aside? No. You sweetheart. As she stated, this was your responsibility as maid of honor. Yeah, and I'm not anymore. Like, her hurting you aside, that just makes sense, right? I see why the poo mode was activated. Poo behavior. All jokes aside, I hope you're doing all right. Like I said, Sleepover Sanctuary is here whenever you need. And I'm so sorry that all these people have come after you enough that you feel like you're second guessing yourself. You don't deserve that. Please hold your ground. One of my favorite things is, like, you can't you can't say you didn't hurt someone's feelings. Like, because you don't control someone else's feelings. Those are theirs to have and to express. What's important in those moments is to acknowledge, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. And sure, context of why, like, maybe you didn't mean to are important, but don't let that overshadow apologizing. And I hope Claire does this. I hope Claire reflects. And everyone else too, jeez. Everyone's just doing the mob mentality to you. I'm so sorry. We are finishing off with something happy because I need that. It's honestly something I want to do that I want to call the feel-good finale. Because as much as there are turds out there are some amazing people out there too. Because we do nuance here. I just realized I have genuine friends. Had 5 of my friends over tonight to play some board games and Jackbox on the TV, and I had an incredible time. After they left, I realized that none of them needed to come, and they all had a perfect excuses not to come. One of them had a really crappy day at work, came home to a disaster of a house, had to drop off their kids at their ex's husband's house. Ugh. Oh wait, no, at their ex-husband's house. I'm dumb. It was gonna be an hour late. Another's alarm didn't go off until they were supposed to be at my place, and he lived 45 minutes away. Oh, final destination over here. Ugh. It's the final destination of just minor inconveniences. Another was up till 2 a.m. the previous night and couldn't sleep in because she needed to babysit her nieces and nephews. Another had early work tomorrow and had a lot on his plate in terms of his job. Another was having trouble finding childcare and ended up paying someone to watch their kids so they could come to game night. If any of them called and said, hey, I can't make it tonight because of XYZ, I would have been bummed, but I would understand. They all showed up. They all had a great time, and they didn't have to do that. I'm just overwhelmed with good vibes. Me too! It's really nice to have people around me where I'm not thinking, oh, they don't really want to be around me, they just feel sorry for me. Sometimes the brain goblins really do a doozy with that one. Leave me alone, I know I'm loved. They'd actually want to spend time with me and I don't have to worry. Life is good. I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing that. I needed good vibes after that bull honky. Who is going to bamboozle me today? You smell like you work, so you must work here. Where's the smell lady from Twitter? If you don't know about that, that is some fascinating stuff. She did a PhD about like smell and how that affects us socially, because it's a real thing, you know, when you smell something stinky and you think it's stinky so you don't want to go near it. Yeah, that has social impacts. It's very interesting. So I'm the pit master at a local barbecue restaurant. Master of pits? You there to make sure everyone wears deodorant? No wonder they thought that you worked there. You're the pit master. Anytime someone's a little too stinky, you run up, like door greeters, instead of greeting, you run up and swipe them with some deodorant. Right down the face, not even the pit. You're new at the job, it's okay. Uniform is black pants and either a black or gray t-shirt with the restaurant name on the front. Ah, there's lots of smells at a barbecue restaurant. Sometimes they slip past you. But no more. You know what aroma you're looking for. After work, I often stop by Walmart to go grocery shopping as it is on my way home. Well, one day while I was in the bakery getting hoagie rolls. Is that how you spell hoagie? I feel like if you asked me to spell it, I'd probably do that, but I've never thought about it before. I don't think I've ever written down hoagie. Sometimes words look word. Sometimes words look weird. Sometimes words look weird. Sometimes they sound weird too. She appears, the opposing pitmaster. It's like a Western showdown, but instead of guns, it's deodorant. See who can run to your side the fastest and swipe ya. Now she had the typical Karen look, and she looked mad, and she spotted me. Suddenly the lighting looks orange and dusty. A Stetson appears on your head out of nowhere. She opened up with, finally, someone who effing works here. I of course ignored her and kept on with my shopping. Oh wait, because you're at Walmart. You're not even at the barbecue. I forgot that you literally said you went to Walmart. Pretty sure the Walmart, what is it called? What's the word? The Walmart uniform is with the vest. You're clearly not wearing the vest. Also, doesn't it say the name of your restaurant on your shirt? Well, she didn't like that and rammed her cart into mine. Excuse me. Don't make me go pitmaster on you. And started yelling, don't you effing ignore me, you lazy F. I need you to get me an effing cake decorated. I think you're looking for the bakery, ma'am. Good glory. That ain't a way to get service. That's fascinating that people will start berating those who do work at places, because it's like, do you think this is gonna work?
I think not!
Sometimes the customer is wrong. You just silently grab a cake that you see on the stand next to you. I'll gladly decorate your cake. smash it in her face. Look, personalized. I looked up at her, looked down at my black t-shirt with the restaurant name that is very distinct from Walmart. Looked back up at her, looked down at my shirt. Just the... I don't work here. Just trying to silently signal, like, ma'am, look at the fine print. It's not even fine, it's very large. Like this next cake I'm gonna throw at you, just for good measure. And then I pulled my cart away and turned to leave. She kept yelling, yes you do, you smell like you work here, and grabbed my arm. Okay. No touchy touchy.
No touchy.
How unhinged. This is a person who refuses to hear no. So isn't that funny when people try to convince you of something that is not the truth? You're just like, I literally don't work here. What? You just malfunction because you just like, what? How? Huh? You're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say at this point. I pushed her off me and told her to F off lady, I don't work here. It's not my fault you're too effing stupid to read my shirt or know that employees here wear a blue vest. Okay. Probably not the most helpful to yell back, but I can totally understand why that would be hard not to do. And also when a person starts grabbing you, I wouldn't know what to do in that scenario. I'd probably get out my deodorant because I'm sweating because this is so stressful. You always gotta keep emergency deodorant with you, just in case. She started following, yelling obscenities at me until the manager came over to see what was going on. She, of course, demanded that I be fired, to which the manager replied that I don't work there. They just stare at you just like, who are you? It would be really funny is if they like, this was just the last straw for the manager that day. They had already dealt with so many ridiculous things. People and children screaming at them. Pretty sure children are people too. Whatever. They're just smaller. So just for kicks, they pretend that you do work there and they just take your side. Meanwhile, you're just there like, I don't know what's happening. And they started going back and forth on it. The manager waved me away and I went back to shopping. Especially at this point. Are you trying to argue with the manager that they do work there? How do you know? Sure, at that point, like if she's saying that you're being rude back, but here's the thing. She's the one who initiated the rude. How fascinating. Like maybe she's just in too deep at this point, so she just has to go down with the ship. A little while later, I'm getting ready to check out, and I see her still standing in the bakery yelling at the manager about how I pushed her, I needed to be fired, I was rude, and so forth. According to your account, she's the one who pushed you. Perhaps like the reactionary, like, no, like maybe, but again, who initiated that? At this point, I see 2 police officers come in. They have a quick chat with the manager and escorted her out of the building. She was screaming about suing the whole time. Ugh, girl, it's over. Please. I think I mentioned the other day, it's like when someone, what did I say? It's like when someone realizes they're wrong or they're faced with like, that they're wrong, how they react to that can often show character. Like if they are, granted, when you're wrong, it's embarrassing, right? It always is, and that's okay. But like if you realize you're wrong, but as best you can take it with grace and just, apologize and then move on, good character. Stinky character, you do stuff like this. Put on some deodorant. Guess Zilla can't accept wedding isn't about her. Aha! That's right, we are doing a wedding story today. Bit of context. My wife and I recently held a vow renewal in Hawaii. We eloped and wanted to have a ceremony later for family and friends. We're both military and live in Hawaii and recognize the difficulty of coming out here, and we told anyone that could make it to use the time apart from the ceremony however they wish so it could be a vacation for them as well. The maid of honor, I don't like them air quotes, flew in with her aunt, late 40s, early 50s maybe, which helped alleviate the expenses. We welcomed the aunt to the ceremony and any planned functions so she wasn't on her own. We first noticed various oddities like dominating every conversation to talk about herself and totally dictating their schedule when away from wedding activities. We also noted that instead of taking turns driving with the maid of honor, she would always get incredibly drunk, forcing her hand. She later claimed this was because she was scared to drive here. I'm still laughing at the word slip. I'm doing that a lot today. I'm a professional. The maid of honor and her aunt would sometimes text about their issues, and the aunt would delete texts just to claim the conflict didn't exist, which only worked in her skewed reality, obviously. So shady.
No, don't like that.
Other small things like deciding to smoke in our backyard, small townhouse yard with 20 or so other guests, including children, all non-smokers. Ugh. And got an attitude and requested to move to the parking lot to smoke. The day of setup and the ceremony, she wandered around mostly on the phone in a very loud argument with someone, and after being told not to, came over to excitedly tell me about the mango she picked. Huh? Got a mango tree? Do mangoes grow on trees? A bush? I don't know. I'm sure it's like a tree. It'd be so funny if it was a bush though. That poor thing just trying to hold them. Already a no-no here, but the venue was not our property and would fine us for this, which was explained to her ahead of time. Excuse me, this is not a fruit-picking endeavor. Although that would be kind of a cute, like, I don't know how you incorporate that into a wedding, but it's like if you went to an apple orchard or something. And the pictures, oh, go in the fall? That'd be so cute. When we got home to change, she changed into a white dress. Oh. Some folks may not care about this, especially being a vow renewal, but we wanted to treat it as a wedding and found it distasteful. We brought it up respectfully, but she played it down and also claimed it was an $800 dress. I don't know much about women's clothes, but it was just a summer dress, nothing fancy. And we were horrible for even asking. Hardly horrible. Granted, if she doesn't have anything to change into... Well, if they went home to change, though. She probably has other clothes. The last weird moment that we caught was when my wife was talking to a friend who wanted to use some of our decorations for a baby shower. The aunt, without being prompted, started packing up tables of decorations while the event was still happening. What? No! I know that can be a thing, like at the end of weddings, like if you want to take the flowers from your table or something, some people allow that. You just take, no, madam, no stealing of streamers and tablecloths. She starts doing that thing where you like rip it off, but all the stuff stays there. She starts doing that to everybody. These are mine. This isn't a free for all, you heathen. Do you see any piñatas around? This is not candy you can just grab. When they're doing the bouquet toss or, you know, vow renewal. Who knows if they're doing that, but imagine they're doing that. She just has all this stuff in her hands like, I've got everything I need. Not to mention still smoking, where it was not allowed and being corrected multiple times. Come on. Just be respectful. After it was all over, she was crying to her elderly mom about how we were all so horrible to her, how we berated her, how the maid of honor wouldn't let her drive, and how the maid of honor, her effing niece, is a terrible mother to her child, and she worries for the child's safety? Based on the previous paragraph, I doubt it, since you were drinking most of the time. I'm definitely forgetting things. I've been receiving the audacity from my wife for the most part. That's my rant. Definitely not the cool aunt. Definitely not. More like the toxic aunt. The radioactive aunt. Radioactive. I just wanted a nice time. I reject your cake and substitute my own. What audacity am I about to see? This is a short tale about one of the wildest things I've ever seen at a wedding. We're off to such a strong start. Not the worst wedding I've ever been to, but certainly the most WTF. About 15 years ago, I was a guest at a big New York, New Jersey wedding. Between a New Yorker and a New Jersey? Yes, between the states. No, between two people who are from those places. I barely knew the groom, a cousin's cousin. My cousin's boyfriend's dog's nail groomer's wife. Yep. I'd barely met, and mostly I was invited since I'd been living with my aunt at the time for college and she was close with the groom. The church wedding service goes off without a hitch, and the bride, groom, and their families are doing some quick group photos outside while most of the guests head off to the cocktail hour and reception. That's where the first sign of trouble starts. That's where it always starts. I need to observe the cake stealer. The bride's mother starts throwing a fit that the bride's family should have priority for photos. But they're both getting married. You both are important. Like, they should go first? I feel like that normally happens anyway. I think it just so happens that this time you start with the groom. Why does that matter? It's not gonna take that long. She actually physically stopped the photographer. Oh, what are you doing? Are you throwing the cake at them? That's what happened to it. From taking a group shot of about 15 people to make them wait for her family to be ready. Gah. Photos can take a bit of time, but it doesn't take that long. Girly pop. You need a lollipop because your blood sugar seems low. That's why she's stealing the cake. Yeah, the bride looked mortified. Poor thing. That is so embarrassing. And the bride's father and groom's parents had to step in and keep mom from causing a scene. It's like, it's just weird when people do things without regard to how it's going to affect, especially in this case, the main people, the main reason that this event is even happening. I totally get wanting to make sure like your side of the family gets photos. That's gonna happen. Trust the photographer to do their job. That poor person just like, give me a sec. Somebody let slip that the bride and groom had paid for the whole wedding themselves, and the bride's mom was furious that she had been cut out of planning after she had repeatedly tried to change things behind the bride's back. Wow. I don't blame them for wanting to do it themselves, because then they don't have to worry about her butting her head in. She seemed to try to anyway. And that's like, that depends on you. Either, you know, if you want to pay for it, or if you want, like, traditionally parents to pay for it. Either way's fine, but I bet that was nice. They could just, we're just gonna take care of it. With that smoothed over and photos done, the reception gets underway. A lovely event at some reception hall with a garden, open bar, the works. A garden? Oh, that's so pretty. Suddenly it turns into, I almost said Ice Princess. That's the wrong princess movie. Princess Diaries, where they fall into the fountain. As she's sneaking out with the cake, she falls in. An hour or two in, they're getting ready to serve food, and suddenly they're shouting from the direction of the kitchen. An entrance hall, a lot of shouting. What now? The bride's mother had replaced the cake. Who does that? Unless there's a sidebar and the couple is like, hey, we actually don't really like this cake. Can you like do us a solid? That'd be completely different. She just, I don't like this cake. I'm gonna do mine instead. Do you need some crumpets with that audacity? And was attempting to move the original cake, a beautiful 2-foot tall number, out of the building on a serving cart. That's half my size. I am 4'9". That's like half my size. Let's just say for giggles that the mother-in-law is my height. Can you imagine? Someone trying to secretly cart something out that's half their size. Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't. Only a raised lip on the tile floor had kept her from wheeling the cart and cake out the door on a mad dash to the parking lot. What are you doing? What are you doing? There's no need. One of the groomsmen going out for a smoke had found her struggling to get the cart over a small bump and raised the alarm. That's right, the venue has a cake stealer alarm because this weirdly happens a lot. Can you imagine? He's just sitting there and you just see in the corner of his eye, sees the cake moving and then sees her right behind it. They lock eyes. There's just a really awkward moment for a second. She goes, "Don't you dare." His eyes swipe to the alarm, just a big red button. Continues eye contact as he slams it. Like some terrible heist movie, her whole plan was to steal a several $100 gourmet masterpiece and replace it with a cheap Walmart-looking cake that had presumably been in the trunk of her car all afternoon. Have you ever heard of the sun? It's like during the hottest part of the summer in Texas in a black car. Imagine everything's like melted off, depending on how like melty it even is. Let's say she was successful in replacing the cake. It's all melted, so she just puts a smiley face on it. Perfect. With the message, "Joke's on you, losers." She's already gone. Once they see the cake, they just hear the skidding of the car. And hoped nobody noticed. All because she was mad she didn't get her way. Wait, so this was retaliatory? She didn't get aware about the photo, so her first thought was steal the cake? And the funny part is, she probably got the pictures just fine. Suffice it to say, after much shouting in the hallway, the real cake was rescued, the imposter cake disposed of into her face, and the bride's mother spent the rest of the reception sitting in her car sulking. What in the world? A whole cartoon, dude. Like, is this the plot to Tom and Jerry, one of their episodes? Sure sounds like it. Honestly, the bride's poise at the whole thing was impressive, but I gather this probably wasn't the first time her mother went a little crazy. The rest of the reception was a blast. Nobody seemed to miss the mother much, and it was certainly one of the most memorable events I've ever attended. I don't think I'm ever gonna forget this story. Like, pull yourself together, Elastigirl. Today we're reading stories about crows, because I felt like it. Well, I posted a community post that involved a crow. I'll show it here. And then I came across some stories about crows on Reddit, and I was like, the universe is speaking to me. A crow signal. So, grab your cozies and snackies. Let's head on into it. A crow said hello to me and made my day. We were walking home through the park from picking my son up from school. I looked into a tree because I hear a rattle. Rattle skedaddle. One crow up there, shaking some maracas. Could you imagine seeing that? Ah! Possibly talking to another that was waiting across the street. Then he made a funny sound. I asked, "Are you meowing at me?" That's so cute. Is it mimicking a cat? You know, crows can actually like talk to you and mimic things like parrots. Crows are so cool. What I love about crows is they're the perfect example of boundaries. Be nice to them and they will love you forever. If you're mean to them, they will remember forever. And he did it again. And it was definitely, hello. Aww. So of course, all three humans and one feather boy said hello back and forth a dozen times. You know, I would do that with squirrels. I would play on the trampoline outside my house, and then there were some trees like right next to it, and there were squirrels, and they'd, you know, hang around and chitter and stuff. And what was even the sound I made? I thought I could talk to squirrels. I think I just talked to them. I don't think I tried to like mimic their sound. I don't know why I can't think of their sound right now. But yeah, I thought I could communicate with them. They were my friends. And yes, I left them a little crumb of my kid's leftover sandwich for being my friend and making my day. Do your friends imitate with their vocalizations? That's so fun. Crows are so cool, and they're so pretty. It's kind of like crows and black cats, like in pigeons too. It's like they're like the most unloved, but like prettiest animals, you know? I feel like crows are underrated. I'm creating an army of crows. Just love that title already. So, a few days ago, I learned that if you feed crows regularly, they'll remember your face and sometimes bring you little gifts. I love that. Naturally, I immediately went to feed the crows. I'm hoping they'll tell their fellow crows, their fellow crow bros, about me, and I'll have this reputation among crows. This sounds stupid, I know. It sounds great. I'd love an army of crows, especially if it got to the point of like, they see you as one of their own. They protect you as one of their own, because that's the thing. What I said about them, if you're mean to them, they will remember. Like, they will jump you. Like, for real. Honestly, like, being nice to animals in general, like, why would you not? You know? That is such a cute human sentence. Like, I'm hoping they'll tell their other friends about me, and then we'll all be friends. It's adorable. My question is, how do I go about it? What should I feed them? And do you guys have any tips for growing a crow army? Well, we're gonna learn right now. Update. Thanks for all the advice. I've laid a few nuts, apple slices, and hard-boiled egg in my backyard. My cult has its first 2 members. The crow cult. This might sound silly, but seeing these 2 fellas gave me an immense amount of joy. As they should. They're amazing and adorable. Like, seriously, crows can be the sweetest little guys ever, or they can be absolute menaces to you. And it's all up to you. Update 2. I've picked a spot in my garden to lay out food so the crows can easily reach it. After the 2 yesterday, there haven't been any crows yet, but I'm hoping they'll show up soon. The plan falls into place. Update 3. The crows showed up! Like 8 of them! They seem to be primarily interested in walnuts, so I put a little extra this time. Update 4. Figured I'd update you guys on this. A lot of crows have been following me around, so the recruiting has been successful. Make sure to always have a handful of peanuts at hand because I can't say no when they look at me that way. I'm like a human peanut dispenser. And walnuts, apparently. You sound like a delight. I love the image of just, you have this flock of crows. Come at me! Just try getting past my crow tornado. My crow-nado. Imagine someone trying to like threaten you or something. Suddenly you just hear caw, caw from the distance. It's like a whole cloud of them. They spin around you. Realistically, they probably spin around the person doing the threatening. And then for no reason, we're including a Bigfoot story. That's right, I'm here to bamboozle you. Join in on the whiplash. I've seen him. I just love that title. When I was 5 or 6, I remember doing my homework and looking out the window. For context, there are some trees behind my house, and further up that hill are some more houses. I saw him walk out, and he had brown fur. Dude. It looked like he was 6 or 7 foot tall. He just walked around for a second and almost vanished instantly as he entered the trees again. I don't understand how he could have gotten away so fast. Those trees aren't think. I'm sure you meant thick. Those trees aren't think. Trees everywhere are like, how dare you? I do think, and I think you're a turd. Those trees aren't thick, and you can see one of the houses up from my back porch and window. I ran to get my parents, but they never saw anything. I've never seen him since, and no one in my area has ever said anything about seeing a Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot's a thing in Washington, so if anyone's gonna see him, it's gonna be me. But I know for sure I didn't hallucinate or just convince myself I saw him. I take it as the universe letting me get a rare glimpse of one of the most elusive creatures. I don't know how they do it, but they're damn good at hiding. People have seen them for thousands of years, and I know they are out there. I know they're out there. Honestly, that's one I've always... Every time Bigfoot's brought up, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. I'm not like super invested in it, but I'm also like, it'd be interesting if he was real. Kind of like with aliens. I'd be down for that existence. I was just still thinking about it. I would love to be the crow queen. None will ever cross me. It's hot, like my rage. I am what I like to call Ludialing. And what better way to channel that rage than read stories of people being entitled meatwads? Meatwads? I don't know where that came from. New insult unlocked, I guess. I feel like I was going for jerkwad and then meat just came out. Ugh. Don't be a meatwad. Although aren't we already? We're just electrical currents in a meat sack. You're welcome for that understanding of the human body. Anyway, right, meatwads, let's go. Just this title alone. A chaotic wedding at the gun range. And it has the flare disaster, so we're in for a treat. Obligatory. Not my story, but my dad's story. Oh, I thought you were saying like it's obligatory to tell this story, which, I mean, I'm on board with it being an obligatory Storytelling session. When my dad was a child in the early 1970s, he was invited to a wedding for a distant relative of his. Let's call her Debbie. Little Debbie. Don't cross little Debbie or she'll get her little shooty. Debbie's family didn't have a lot of money, so my grandparents were instructed to provide the catering. Instructed. Okay. I know it was probably nicer than it sounds, which is like, you will make the food. While my dad's family was wealthier than Debbie's family, they were also not rolling in cash at the time, and they also had no idea how to contact any catering so far away, so they decided to order a dozen or so pizzas. They had to send pigeons to Domino's. Imagine the pigeon carrying the pizza back. That'd be a sight to behold. Storks bring babies, pigeons bring pizzas. The wedding was in rural Michigan. Rural. I hate that word. I hate saying that word. 3 hours away from where my dad lived, so they had a long drive with the 2 young children to the wedding venue, which was at a gun range. Great mix. 3 hours isn't too bad, but that would be a long time for kids. I will never forget driving to, I think, Disneyland? For the longest time, I thought it was Disney World because the drive felt that long. But like, it felt like it took a week. Yes, a real gun range with people shooting while the ceremony was going on. How romantic. Do you take this man? I know that they probably mean like unrelated people, like at the gun range, but I just love to picture while the wedding is going on, the guests are just like, whoa! Oh, they can barely get 2 words in without someone getting excited. Joke's on you, we're playing Russian roulette. My dad recalls him, his sister, and his cousins running around picking up gun casings like Easter eggs. I mean, that would be pretty fun. Happy Easter! The reception begins and the alcohol is abundant. I like your style of writing. The first thing on the docket is speeches. The first speech was from Debbie's stepmom, who we'll call Mary. Mary and Debbie were not on the best terms, and Mary was also an alcoholic. This leads to the bride and her mother getting into an all-out fist fight. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is unfortunate, mixing alcohol with an alcoholic. Never fun. This is why sometimes dry weddings can be a good idea. After bride and strep-mother, she's like the tooth fairy of strep throat. Fairy strep-mother. While Mary Godmother gets to work with Cinderella, this lady just has to go around giving everyone strep throat all the time. She really pulled the short straw at that fairy school. After bride and stepmother tend to their wounds, dinner is served. What a sight to behold. My grandpa goes to get the pizza. Oh, I forgot it was pizza. My dad goes to help him. When they return, the guests are in a frenzy like piranhas when they see blood. Oh, what? What? It turned into a bar fight? Oh, the pizza. I thought they just started fighting for no reason. They rushed towards my dad / grandpa and even knocked my dad down to get a slice. Wow, there is enough to go around, my goodness. Keep in mind that my dad is elementary school age. No, not knocking down the child. It's pizza, you'll get a slice. Maybe they're just trying to get their food ready so that they can watch another fistfight go down. You need your snacks after all. Leave the child alone. After this, my no-nonsense Italian grandma has had enough of this shiatsu show and drags her kids out. Smart. My grandma then attempts to find some sort of lodging as just somewhere in the woods, just cowering in the cabin in the woods, trying to shelter yourself from the shotguns, slaps, and munching of pizza. As she and Grandpa have to stay at the wedding for whatever reason, they're trapped. But the only hotel that isn't bug-infested is a fancy lakeside one. It's literally like a cabin. I wasn't even that far off. My grandma begrudgingly forks over the money on a fork. On the bright side, my dad remembers the night as awesome because he got to hang out in a fancy hotel without parental supervision. There's a bright side to everything, I guess. Wow. What an ordeal. I mean, that checks out. When you're a child, you tend to remember things. I mean, not even remember things, but when you do, it's usually with that, childlike wonder. That was fascinating. I'd like to think that even as all that was going down, the shots in the distance were still happening. When they start hurling, like, insults at each other, you just hear the gunshot in the distance, like, ooh, burn. I expected great things from this title, and I was not disappointed. It's funny how I was prepared to just start raging, and honestly, it just made me laugh the whole time. Which maybe I needed to. Now today's special. Not only do we have our Wedding Story Wednesday, but it's by one of our very own gremlins. Someone left a story recounting their story. And like the little story goblin I am, I asked if I could use it. And they said yes! A huge thanks to them. This is the Gremlin Spotlight for today. That is by Steph Morgan 7444. Angel numbers, right? That's a thing. Part of what made me want to read this is just the first sentence. They start with, I love these videos, but they do make me wonder if I'm an alien. Haven't we all felt that way? Should read more like alien stories. That would be fun. I was one of 7 kids raised by Southern Baptist missionary parents. 7. Ouch. We moved a lot and were homeschooled. Just some background that might explain why I fail at normal social obligations. Again, haven't we all been there? When I was 15 years old, I met a guy in a Christian chat room who lived in Wales. I lived in Montana. Star-crossed lovers indeed. Montana Wales. It kind of sounds like that would be a very unfortunate name. Montana Wales. Hannah Montana's second cousin, twice removed. Performs with a kazoo. Kazoo only. When I was 18, I immigrated alone 4,000 miles to marry him. Oh, wow. It really is star-crossed lovers. We obviously intended to marry, but had little control over the when, where, how, who, what, where, when, why, because my visa only allows me to live here for 6 months maximum before we had to be married or I'd need to leave the UK. Huh. I'd never been a pretty girly girl type, more of a tomboy. Shame. I knew we had to get married to extend my visa / the relationship. Very literal way of putting it. We had to marry to extend our relationship. Maybe you are an alien. Maybe you don't. Plot twist, you actually are an alien. Speaking human language is weird for you. But I wanted to literally go to City Hall. Over here it's the registry office and sign the document in jeans and t-shirts. I mean, yeah, who cares when you just go to City Hall? My mom flew over for the wedding as a witness, but was my only family / friend there. Obviously, I barely knew his family after meeting them a couple times over a 6-month period, but we did get along and had no problems between any of us. I didn't see planning the wedding as a big deal because I didn't want any fuss. No bridal party, no dresses, no hair and makeup that I didn't do myself, etc. Honestly, do you know how many times my husband and I were like, what if we just eloped? What if we just did that? What if we just made it easy? We didn't, obviously. And, you know, I'm glad. Our wedding was very nice, but like, man, even our small wedding was like, ugh. Even small weddings can be stressful to plan. You can absolutely do like a city hall marriage and it can still be quite nice. Would my mother-in-law let it be? Of course not. First you need to choose the cake. Fine, I literally don't care about cake. Then she wanted to choose the flowers. I'm not big on flowers, but the only thing I was adamant about was that I hate the color pink and won't have it associated with everything I wear. I mean, yeah, probably. With anything I would wear or hold / carry. I just show up in this.
It is I, your worst nightmare.
Become your new sleep paralysis demon. She chose pink roses behind my back. The only rule, madam. A little weird. Whose wedding is this? It's also such a weirdly specific thing to like go behind your back and just do, even though it's the only, right? The only thing you're specific about. Anything but pink. She's like,
okay, so pink.
That's a little odd. I get to shift. She then notified her hairstylist that they needed to do my hair in a very flouncy / girly fashion. Again, without telling me. I'm sorry, whose hair is this? Did we have a transplant I don't know about? Like, is this your hair? What is this? Turns out you guys are aliens and that the hair switching thing happens a lot. And you're like, Mom, I needed that today. Just like when your sibling borrows your sweater. Now, yes, I was able to speak, but moving from Montana to Wales, I actually couldn't understand what anyone was saying on the TV or in person, especially if two people were talking at once or either party had a heavier Welsh accent. So I was just nodding and smiling politely a lot of the time. I mean, that makes sense. I'm sure that must have been a huge culture shock, especially with you being so young at 18. I hope you and that person are either doing well together or apart. I don't know how old you are now. I assume this was like years ago. But no one asked me about any of this, and she intentionally violated the very few boundaries I did make clear, so I was like, F it, I don't care, do what you want. No! No! Don't enable! I get that though, like that would be frustrating. But please. You don't need to violate your boundaries. Boundaries? I can't even say it. Whatever's going on, whether it's wedding related or just everyday life, please do your best to not violate your own boundaries. You don't need to do that to yourself. It can be very hard to, you know, not give in, especially if people are being pushy, but do your best, you know, look after yourself. 2 days before the wedding, mother-in-law informs me that the groom's niece, 10-year-old Becky, had been crying for days and days and that she wasn't part of the wedding. Good! It's not about her! Just that good. I'm glad she's crying. I don't even know her. The groom's niece, which, yeah, will make you step aunt, step niece. Yeah, that kind of relationship. Like, bummer, that made her sad, but, you know, if you are not wanting her specifically in the... Wasn't this supposed to be at City Hall? Is this just a wedding now? But yeah, if you don't feel inclined to have her involved, ultimately that is your choice. Obviously, it's very subjective on whether that's, like, right or not. Things get weird with in-laws, and I can understand that, but, like, if you don't feel very close to her, and this isn't even, like, his sister, where it would be even more difficult to, like, know how to navigate that, but, like, this is one of the groom's sibling's child. And we don't know the whole story. Maybe he is close with his niece and maybe that's why it's a bigger deal. That's always hard. And I feel like rule of thumb, you know, without being a Zilla yourself, you know, do what you want to do, you know? Like, for example, there's a way to politely decline, like, I understand and appreciate that she wants to be part of it, but that does not align with my plans. And again, that would be hard to like face and extremely awkward and everything, but you know, as long as the person planning their wedding, bride, groom, whatever, politely declines, the other people can have their feelings on, you know, like the niece, for example, absolutely, like have your feelings, that can be sad, but at the end of the day, it's not your choice. If they decline to have you be part of the wedding, you gotta respect that. So mother-in-law informs me, not asks, because of course not, that Becky is going to be my flower girl. Interesting. Now my mom knows there is a wedding party. She wants to know why she's not giving me away. Because there's no wedding party. Oh no, the miscommunication. See, this is why, as difficult as boundaries can be, this is why they're important, because then miscommunication like this happens. It's so uncomfortable and I totally get that, but it just really does save miscommunications and hurt feelings down the line. You know, to be as straightforward as you can and to do it kindly. We always recommend that. That's why wedding stories are so fascinating, because it's like there's so many different moving parts, so many different people to work with, and so many like feelings to work with, especially because that's the fascinating part. Weddings really seem to bring out people's insecurities, and so it's like, what repressed feelings are about to come out? Because it's so real. Like big events like this, they have a way of really bringing out, sometimes unfortunately, the worst in people, which should be a signal to go to therapy, or like in this example, you know, try to be as straightforward as you can about what your expectations are for your not even supposed to be a wedding. It's supposed to be just going to City Hall. Also, I need to take Becky shopping for a dress even though I'm not wearing one. You're like, all right, you heathens, I'm wearing pajamas now. Would not blame you. It needs to be white and lace. Whatever.
Don't do it. Don't enable.
The ceremony was a bit of a laugh. My mom was there and his entire extended family dressed to the nines, expecting a huge thing. Whew. Once again, it's like the feeling of, I'm being nice here, but wanting to like have a nice wedding, whatever, for your son. I get that. But at the end of the day, if this is what the couple wants, is just something simple, just respect that. Because I assume you're either then husband or now husband. Don't know if you're still together. Maybe we'll find out later. But if you guys are on the same page, like, you don't need to be extravagant. The DJ played the wrong song when we walked to the front of the room. He's playing All Star by Smash Mouth. Somebody you as the bride has to burst through the door at the end of the hall. Ugh, that is unfortunate. It was just random chaos, and again, I didn't really care much. The point for me was being married, not a party, which is fine. You don't have to have a big old party if you don't want. Because assuming that you may be more introverted, I get that. Even just us having 20 people was kind of a lot, especially when I was walking down our aisle. It was my parents' backyard. Like, I was sweating a little just from everyone watching me. Yeah, that's so lame. And it sounds like they really took advantage that you didn't know the language well. I don't drink. I have no idea what I'm doing in Wales, as I'm the only one. That's literally how everything is celebrated here. Get drunk and make an absolute donkey out of yourself. Groom's best friend ultimately got punched in the face. Oh, how so? My mom was actually engaged, divorced from father for many years, and due to get married in 6 months' time. Groom's friend Brian got drunk and kept trying to kiss my mom. Be gone! Be gone, foul beast! Her hand up her arm, her cheek, her neck. No! Keep myself covered up just like I did when I was little, and I got really scared of vampires, and so I thought my covers would protect me at night. I did that for years. It's because I came downstairs one time and they were watching Sleepy Hollow, and I was too young to be watching that. I'll never forget, I burned into my skull are 2 scenes. I like how I always have my fingers up saying 2 before even saying 2. Yeah, 2 scenes burned into my skull. The first one was the guy's like whole like skin and everything was like unraveling until he was bones. That's horrifying. And then the second one was when so the guy had a horse, I guess, and he had a lady on the horse with him, and then he bit her on the lips. The lips, like not even the neck, by the lips. I feel like that's less efficient. How much, like, Yeah, whatever. Never said he was a smart vampire. But yeah, he did that and then he jumped into the tree. And then her hand was just sticking out from the tree. Never slept again after that. Maybe that's where my insomnia comes from. You know, I was scared of vampires for forever. Anyway, what was I talking about? Ah, her neck. Ah, yes. Covering up. She just goes to the bathroom and comes back in a parka. She's like, try me now. It was pissing me off and making my mom super uncomfortable. Yeah. Was her fiance there? It sounds like it was just your mom there. My mom flew over for the wedding as a witness, but was my only family/friend there. So when he tried it again, I walked over to him. He turned from my mom and started kissing up my... Huh? So I punched him. Good! No! I mean, I don't condone violence. I mean, I really don't, but like, I mean, sometimes someone might need to be punched, you know? And walk back to my head table and let the guests laugh, because F them, who even are these people? Ugh. Yikes. Oh, I forgot to say, the groom disappeared an hour into our reception to take our suitcases to our hotel for the night. It took him 4 hours. What? I was at the reception alone with his drunk friend, whining niece, and obnoxious mother. When he finally returned, we cut the cake. He dropped the knife, handle first, onto my open-toed shoe. You're like, not me, the cake. Oh, are you okay? I hope that didn't hurt too bad. Or handle first. So I hope, oh. I mean, if I'm understanding handle first, so it was the handle that hit you, not the actual blade, which I hope so, because, oh, that'd be horrible. The cake, it was hideous. It was a hideous fruitcake that tasted horrendous. Oh, man. I couldn't even eat it. Mother-in-law put the top tier in her freezer and said it was to be saved to celebrate the birth of our first child. No thank you. Please burn it. I will never get married again. What an absolute farce. Thanks for the stories. Keep them coming. I'm grateful you're here. And wow. Because yeah, when I saw your comment, I only like skimmed it a little and then asked if I could read it. And so like I saw some details here and there. I know the blasphemy. But like, wow. Well, if you're still together, I hope you're doing well and that you're able to have a peaceful life. Or if you separated, same thing. Hope your life is doing well now. If you're comfortable sharing it, if you're watching. Hello. Are you still in Wales or did you move back or just how you doing? Well, that was fascinating. If you remember any more details, please share. That is unfortunate that mother-in-law just did not want to cooperate. And then other people not being able to handle their alcohol and getting way too touchy-feely. Yeah, what a whirlwind of a time that must have been. Because yeah, you met when you were teenagers and then got married when you were 18. And not only that, but that you moved across the world to go do that? That's crazy. Yeah, that is so young to be experiencing such an extreme shift in your life. It feels like one of those stories you tell when you're an older adult. You're just in the nursing home and you're just like, yeah, I moved across the world at 18 to get married. Because whether it worked out or not, that's a pretty crazy story. Everyone's just listened to that like, what? But either way, yeah, I hope you're doing good. Thank you for sharing that story. That was crazy. Sorry I had to deal with so much tomfoolery. And I hope you were able to enjoy at least some of it because like, you know, it was meant to be your wedding day and everything. And it's, you know, it's meant to be about with the person you love. So I hope you have at least some good memories from it. Either way. I was feeling like a dumpster fire earlier and I came across this post talking about like, oh, you actually can thrive when you take care of your basic needs. And you know, you always see those posts and you're like, I know you're right and I hate it. Well, even more so after I took a nap and had some lunch. Now I'm feeling much better. Oh yeah, taking care of your basic needs is important. Speaking of, let's drink water, everybody. Just at the very start. Also, freshly fed and rested Amanda means fresh rabid squirrels. You should be afraid. Fear the squirrel brain. You'll be stuck here forever. All shall love me and despair. What a befuddling title. Coworker we didn't invite to wedding repeatedly shared our wedding photos to his IG story. Go on. Every time I see the tag foul friends, it's so funny to me because it's just like foul. These foul creatures. We start off with important context. My wife has been married before and had a messy divorce that made her and my now stepdaughter's lives hell. How rude. I'm sorry they had to go through that. I hope they're doing okay. The ex-husband's extended family hounded them for years and years because they held some sort of vendetta against her while he he was the one who had committed a serious crime leading to the divorce. Oh my, no. Yeah, family. Might be a little misguided there. Reading the words hounded them just made me picture, like, you know how some dogs will bark at people as they're passing by their gate? That's what it's like every time. Everyone lines up and barks at you. Throw some muffins at them, they'll be fine. I met my wife at work. We instantly connected and dated for 3 years in the office and had a good group of friends that we made there, who we still meet with to this day. They are some of our best friends. It is really good to hear, not only to have a great group of friends from work, but also like to meet, like find a love interest at work and then it actually works out. And it's always difficult because you can't tell. So, you know, sometimes it's worth taking that chance, but at the same time, the chances of that ending and then you still have to see them. So I'm very glad that that worked out for you because that could have been so bad. Because if that happened to me, I'd probably see if I could be Patrick Starr's roommate. I would never want to go back there again. Except for Randall. Fake name, of course. The way this is already giving me Randall from Monsters, Inc. The diabolical energy. I mean, we all read the title. That is diabolical work. Fit right into Monsters, Inc. That's his whole shtick. And it ain't little kids he's making scream, it's his coworkers. Randall was someone you could never get a read on. He would constantly try and put you down because he was an insecure brat. Oh, lovely. Randall was also the office snitch. Great. Everything you said and did was reported to the boss. Excuse me. Not him walking around with a little notepad. And we find out like a month or two later that what we had said in our private setting was being shared to him. Oh, this little sneak. Did you create Monsters, Inc? Is this based on your coworker? Understandably, everyone just sort of cut him off and stopped meeting with him without making it explicit that we were doing so. Eventually, my wife and I moved on from that place, and so did the rest of us. Randall stuck around just with his little notepad in his little cubicle, being nefarious. Even the boss is probably fed up with him. It's like he sends them little paper airplane notes saying like they ate the last pudding cup. And they're like, Randall, can you just... Randall, the amount of trees' souls you have besmirched by snitching on your coworkers. Day in, day out.
Leave me alone.
Every time Randall writes a new note about the dumbest things about his coworkers, the tree's soul that's stuck in that one page is just staring up at him like, I was sacrificed for this? I'm gonna haunt you for the rest of your days, Randall. You will rue this day. Randall stuck around since he thought he could suck up to the boss and climb the corporate ladder, one petty note at a time. When it came to tie the knot, the wife and I decided to do an intimate wedding with just the friends and a handful of family. Understandably, she did not want to make it a huge affair and did not want pictures shared publicly on social media with her ex and his family. Randall. Like, we know how this ends. Randall, what are you doing? The wedding itself was a dream. Every guest was amazing and really helped us make our day special and memorable for years to come. I'm so glad the wedding itself was good. Ugh. Randall somehow found out our wedding, and instead of messaging to congratulate us, this mother effer emailed our wedding photographer pretending to be my dad, asking for pictures. Randall! It's diabolical! What are you... Who spends their time? Randall. Get a hobby. I laugh to keep from weeping. Randall. A brain cell leaves my skull each time I say his name. Not only is it petty, it's not even in a fun way. Our dumb wedding photographer sent him the images. I think it was like 3 photos. Randall then proceeded to publish these pictures on his effing Instagram story before we even got the chance to see them? With a message on the image congratulating us. Ew! Ew! That is horrifying. In the wedding photographer's defense, who in their right mind would do that? Like, surely, if the father... How could it cross the wedding photographer's mind that this could be someone who's pretending to be the father? Because ideally, no one is that absurd to just do that. But at the same time, probably should have vetted that. I don't know. Hindsight is 20/20. I feel like if I were the wedding photographer, I guess I wouldn't think twice, but maybe that should be a common practice to make sure that you're sending it to the right person. Just like check in with the couple. Be like, hey, is this who they say they are? Probably would have been nice. No, that's so creepy. Like, the absurdity of the story is funny, but also like, ugh. To Randall, I say that Demi Lovato, Instagram comment where it's like, get a job, Get away from her. Or stay away from her, excuse me. This was about 2 to 3 weeks after our wedding, and we'd only found out when we got back from our honeymoon, which would have been about a month after the wedding. Neither of us follow him, and we only learned through friends. Oh my, could you imagine? Could you imagine being one of the... I imagine one of the co-workers, like you said, you met them through, through work. Could you imagine? They're just scrolling through their Instagram and they see Randall doing that? Those are some good friends reaching out to you to be like, hey, Randall's being weird. Weirder than normal. Side note, I just got a TikTok Instagram saying that Charlotte Dobre followed me. And I was about to be like, It says backup, so it's probably not her. I'm not surprised. She's pretty big, so I'm sure there's plenty of people impersonating her. Watch it actually be her, and she's like, oh. I know I should have torn this guy a new one, but I really didn't care since I was enjoying my new family. But man, what a piece of crap thing to do. Yeah, how do you come up with this in the first place? And then actually follow through with such an intrusive thought. This sounds like an intrusive thought that you just get, and the less supervillain response would be like, weird. And then to move on with your day. No, he followed through with it. Randall may be many things, but he's not audacious, I guess. But the wrong kind of audacious. What are you doing? Like, use some of that savviness to climb the corporate ladder in a healthy way. What are you doing? To this day, I have no idea how this guy knew who our wedding photographer was. Yeah, what the? I just messaged him and he gave me some bullcrap response, and I gave him a piece of my mind. Hell yeah, brother. Well done. That's all of us right now. The peanut gallery. Yeah. Can't just do something like that and expect no consequences, Randall. Talked to him and haven't interacted with him since. Wife's ex and his family did eventually learn about her second marriage and made a big fuss about things, but it was whatever. Oh, wow. It's fascinating when people clearly have the audacity, the gumption, the skills to do weird things, and yet they don't use it to, like, actually help them progress in their own life. Like, what are you doing? You clearly have the skills and, like, the craftiness. Like, use that to, like, find ways to climb the corporate ladder. Because not only is this embarrassing, Randall, it's a waste of time. Like, go be a PI or something. What in the... Yeah, I just read the first comment talking about, like, that's unprofessional that the photographer shared it. The benefit of the doubt I'm willing to give is, like, again, who would pretend to be someone else's dad? But they say also, like, oh, they should have asked. That would have been a better way to handle it. And I'm willing to bet that's typically what people do. Because even with that benefit of the doubt, like, that was probably the wiser thing to do. Hopefully they learned from that. Holy moly. Randall. No, but for real though, if you have skills like that to be weird, like, use that and get a job with it. Like, go be a detective. Go help people, Randall. Come on. Truly diabolical. And we're getting a twofer for this Gremlin Spotlight. And it's both a Gremlin Spotlight and a feel-good finale, showing that there's good people in this world who know how to behave diabolically during weddings. And it's by Sapphire Gamgee 4773, which I appreciate you. You're so consistent on here. I always love seeing your comments. Thank you for being here. And some of this may not make sense, but here's the context. Go watch it. But it starts with, I am also an alien. Not of the homeschooled variety though, just autistic. I love that. Me too. Who saw that coming? And man, that story sounds like a nightmare, honestly. I helped put together the wedding decor for my brother and sister-in-law's wedding last year. My sister-in-law, who, like First OP, also dislikes pink, loves neutrals in oranges and blacks. Ooh, prison themed. She's just a huge fan of Orange is the New Black, which she chose for her wedding colors. Personally, I am not a fan of this color scheme. She also chose a boho modern/industrial aesthetic. Also not something I vibe with at all. What did I do? I went with what sister-in-law chose. Wow. Being supportive, a crazy concept. Really, I don't understand how other people have the audacity to commandeer other people's events. Just do the thing the way they want. Now, that's pretty interesting that giving suggestions is one thing, and to, like, be an active participant in the planning and everything, like, that is one thing, but to just, like, completely take over and like cross those boundaries of, in some cases, like, making it about you. It's like, no, stop that. Don't be a goblin, be a gremlin. Glad that they didn't want anything more alcoholic than champagne though, because that whole thing with Groom's best friend would have given me the blue screen of death. Again, if you want the context, go watch that video. That one's pretty fun. I think you'll like it. If you want more of this. Randall certainly was making my brain freeze up a couple times. Like, sir, stop that. Also, Montana Wales is now the name of my incipient Gaelic New Age band. Hell yeah, brother. I'd go to that concert. So thank you for that comment and for always being here. I appreciate you. So, that will be it today. Hope you enjoyed. I sure did. Remember to be a Sully, then a Randall. There's no need to be a Randall. Help where you can in weddings, but also have boundaries. But yeah, that was fun. Provided a few giggles. I hope that was true for you too. I hope you're doing well, but if not, I hope this video has brightened your day at least a little bit. Be sure to take care of those basic needs. I know they're annoying. You can do this. As always, I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you for being here, whether you're new here or you've been here for a while. Let's continue to collect all the gremlins. I'm probably gonna make a post about this, but I want to set a goal. Even if I don't make these goals, that's fine. It's just something to shoot for. But by the end of the year, it'd be cool to reach 3K, and then by our 5-year anniversary in February to reach 5K. Be a pretty big jump, but you know, why not? Let's see how far we get. So spread the word, my gremlins. The queen needs more. But that is it. Take care of those basic needs, as annoying as they are. Take care of yourselves and each other. Do your best to be a good human, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.